So, tomorrow we play against, who are these guys? Marumo Gallants in the league. It's a must-win game for us. But before I get into that game, I just want to talk about the whole coach situation. Is Nabi staying? Is he going? I personally don't think he's staying. And I would have liked for the management, Chiefs, to just come out and let us know and give us a proper statement. If you had to compare what other professional teams do, they say something along the lines of, look, we regret to inform you that our club is parting ways with such and such a coach. We thank him for all he has done for us, and we wish him well in his future endeavors. Thank you so much. Kaizer Chiefs, this is Kaizer Chiefs' statement. Nabi won't be traveling with the team. It's an internal matter, and we will let you know when the time is right. Okay, that is terrible, because now it leads to a whole lot of speculation. Everybody's playing guessing games. There's no stability. Who's going to be leading the line in terms of coaching moving forward? I don't think Kaizer or Ben Yusuf are the right guys. I don't think we need someone to be leading from the top, and it makes no sense because most of those guys Coach Nabi brought them from the previous team that he was at. So what's the point of Coach Nabi leaving and then these guys staying? I know it's always a risk. We know it's always a risk when you change coaches mid-season, right? So much happens, so much money gets involved, so much time, you have to start again. However, I think that is the best route. Our former coach of Kaizer Chiefs, Etugra, he says letting go of the player of Coach Nabi is a bad idea. Because the original statement was that his CAF papers were not in line, and there was an article, or there was a person who just rubbished that whole thing, said that can't be the case. Because if that is the case, how is it that they're only realizing now? Why didn't you check up his papers beforehand? You know what I'm saying? So I think there's another reason that they're not letting us know. I don't know if there was internal fights. I don't know if there was insubordination, but I'm not so much concerned about why he left. I'm concerned about who's going to fill his place, right? Because look, Chiefs, people are saying, look, when we started the season well, Nabi wasn't here. He was taking care of his ill wife back home. I think his wife got into an accident. Bless her soul. I hope she's recovering. So without Nabi, we've been playing well. As soon as he came, we started to drop points. Now, you can say it's a coincidence. You can say, no, his tactics are not. His tactics when he came back that he employed or deployed were not the right ones. Look, for one, I think it's time for change. I don't think people are saying give him time. I don't think he's the right man for the job, and I won't cry tears. Now it's just a matter of what do we do now? What's the next step, right? Because we drew with Sundowns, which I think was a fair result, but we lost to Sekhukhune. Sekhukhune, I realized they're a solid club, but I think we could have done better. And we lost to in the CAF game against the Angolan side, Kabusko. You know what I'm saying? That game was so frustrating. I couldn't finish that game. I'm telling you right now, that game was so frustrating. The problem is going into tomorrow's game. Our players are not consistent, right? At the beginning of the season, I was always the one saying, what does Duba do? What does our striker Duba do? Because I don't see him scoring goals. I don't see him running in behind. I don't see him linking up with other players, 1-2, 1-2. I don't see him as the guy who plays with his back to goal, receiving the ball, trapping and waiting to feed it off to players. I just didn't see what Duba does. I realize he's pacey, but other than that, I didn't see. Another frustrating player is Serginho. Serginho probably is one of the most technically gifted in the team, but he's inconsistent. When it's time to make the right decision, he cuts back, he wastes time. So when you delay in an attack, you give the opposition time to find themselves again, to regroup, which is not what you want. You want to be quick in transition. Lelepo, I won't lie to you. Glody Lelepo, when he first arrived at Chiefs, he was a very frustrating player. I thought he's just a pace merchant, a guy who just runs, But then I realized, okay, he can do more than that. He can beat a man, he can cross, he can shoot. He's taking free kicks now. But here's the thing about Glody Lepo. Once he scored his goals in Yana there, here and there, now he thinks he's prime Ronaldo now. He's taking all the free kicks. In times where he's supposed to shoot, he passes. And in times where he's supposed to pass, he shoots in the final third. We need to be more clinical in the final third. Otherwise, what's the point? We need to be more clinical. And Modi on the left, he needs to beat his man. He doesn't beat his man enough. He always cuts back. When last did Modi score a goal? When last did Pule Modi give an assist? When last did Pule Modi beat his man? He doesn't do these things enough, which makes him null and void as a winger. You know what I'm saying? Should Vilakazi be given more of a chance? He's always on the bench, but when Vilakazi comes on, it's like something happens. He gives the team a bit of vigor. He brings a bit of vavoom into the mix. You know what I'm saying? Our players need to be more consistent. We brought in Flavio Silva. He's played about 3 games and scored 2 goals. Brilliant turnover rate. Brilliant shot to goal ratio. We love it. More frustration for me would come from our midfield. I think we have a donut midfield. Our midfield is empty. Mtetwa is the most frustrating midfield I've ever seen. I asked some guy I know, hey, what does Mtetwa do? He says, no, he's a destroyer. He's destroying the game, all right. What does Mtetwa do, bruh? When last did you see Mtetwa hitting a crossfield ball? Boom. Do you know that if Mtetwa is standing right next to you, if I'm standing here and Mtetwa is standing here, Mtetwa will pass me the ball. Bro, we're a meter apart. How's about you, Shapa? And you know what the funny thing is about Mtetwa? If you look at his stats, right? He's got a very high passing accuracy. Very high. But once you look beyond the stats, you realize it's because he's playing all these safe passes. Boom, boom, boom. Pass a man here, pass a man here. Dude, there's no dynamism. He's not dynamic enough. You know what I'm saying? And clearly also, I could go, you know how long I could watch a game before I hear the commentator saying Cele's name? What does Cele do? I know it's not good to compare because comparison brings depression. But Paris' midfield I think is one of the best midfields in the league. And I think our midfield, Chiefs' midfield, is one of the worst. We have bought 11 players. When do we get to see them? We've bought 11 players this season. When do we get to see them? When do they start? How long does registration take? I'm telling you. This is ridiculous. We need to see the new players coming in. We need to keep the momentum. We started the season well, right? Let's not drop now. Let's not make this a pattern. You know what I'm saying? And this coach situation needs to be sorted out quick. We can't have 2 assistant coaches because what happens when the 2 assistant coaches don't agree? Are they going to call Kaizer Jr.? You know what I'm saying? We need a coach in quickly. Sort that part of management out, the technical staff, because we can't go on like this. We've started well. We've brought in new players. We need to keep the momentum. We can't go on this dip, right? And look, we're playing Marumo Giants tomorrow, Marumo Gallants, I beg your pardon, tomorrow on Heritage Day. And I'll tell you right now, I don't know much about Marumo Gallants. It's not my job to know about Marumo Gallants. My job is to support my team and hope for 3 points. But what I do know about Marumo Gallants is they are the team that beat Pirates 2-1 this season. They're the team that managed to take away points from one of the giants of the nation in this league, which is Orlando Pirates. So we should not go there underestimating, and we should show stability, and also we need to also be able to. We play at one level. There needs to be a time where we pick up the pace. You know what I'm saying? We need to pick up the pace for the occasion. And look, I just hope for 3 points. I can't even tell you who's going to be in the starting lineup tomorrow. All we can do is hope for 3 points.